How about this?
Yeah, Vishwa, so I tried with like for loop, so I was
Okay.
able to somehow make it.
You are not allowed to use division operator. So with this now you're restricted. You will not be able to solve using the for loop unless until you are using some extra space. That question was there is an array 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then every element has to be replaced by the product of the remaining elements. So one has to be replaced by the product of 2, 3, 4, 5. So it comes out 120, 2, 3, and then 2 has to be replaced by product of 1, 3, 4, and 5. So it comes out to be 60. Then 3 has to be replaced by product of 1, 2, 4, and 5. So it comes out 40. And then 4 has to be replaced by similarly. So it will come out as 30, and it will come out as 24. Right? So you have to convert this array into this array. The first
Yeah.
one is iterative. Iterative brute force. So basically, what you do is that for any index, whenever, for example, you come to the index this, right? So you have to find the product till of this and all these elements and place it here. So for that, what we can do is that we can add a for loop for, and suppose I equals to 0, I less than array dot length I plus plus. And what I do is that suppose this is my given array, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have a result array which has to be created. So I just created a result array here, and I create another this one for rod equals to 1, and then for int j equals to 0, j is less than array dot length j plus plus, and in this case j is not equal to I, what I do is okay. So this is the brute force way of doing it. And what is the time complexity of this, Paritosh?
N square.
Perfect. So the time complexity is n into n, and the space complexity will be the O of n, right? Because you are using additional space here. So O of n will be the space complexity. So what if we multiply all the elements and we so if you multiply all the elements, the value which is at the final position is equal to the product of all the elements divided by the value of element at that position, right? So product of all the elements is 120. So here the value is 120 because 120 divided by 1 is 120 itself. Here the value is 60, which is 120 divided by 2. Here the value is 120 divided by 3. Here the value is 120 divided by 4, right? So if you multiply all the elements and we replace it by the whatever the value we get by dividing that particular position element, we will get this particular array. So this we can do like this. So int prod equals to, and then I first find the product of all the elements, and prod equals to prod into array, and it will be O of n. Yes, because there are two loops, but the loops are not one inside the another. Both are independent of each other. So there is or clock. So this will also take O of n, and this will also take O of n. So O of n plus O of n is O of n itself. So the time complexity is O of n. Can you see any problem in this approach?
The value would be 0.
Yes, if the input has a value like 0, like this, if I have, in that case, since this value will come out as 0 once, and the remainder cannot have 0. This is the one problem, and the second problem is that since the product becomes 0, your output will become all 0, right? With this logic, it should come like this: 0, 0, 0, 0, right? And this will again throw an exception here because you cannot divide any number by 0. This is mathematically wrong, so this will again throw you in a mathematical exception, right? This will not work. So What we need to do in this approach is that if we are going by this approach, we'll have to first see if there's 0 or not. If there's a 0, so what if there is a single 0? If there's suppose a single 0, the solution will be like this. All the non-zero element will become 0. Only the element with the 0 will have the non-zero number, so it will become equal to 4 3 12, 12 is 24, so it will become 24, and all the other elements will become 0. Right? But if there are multiple 0, if there are more than one 0, in that case every element will be 0 only, right? If there are multiple 0, so for example 0 1 2 3 and then 0. In this case, since there are multiple 0, in that case any one position will be a product of the remaining elements, which will include at least one 0. So the answer will be the all zeros, right? So basically now we need to keep track of, we need to track the number of zeros. If the number of 0 is 1, what we need to do is that replace that element which is 0 with the product of all the remaining elements, and all the elements, other elements in the array will be 0. If there are two zeros, it means that everything will be 0 itself. So this is what we need to track. So what we can do is that here we can find int count 0 array I equals to 0 0 plus plus, right? And then you continue. So only if it is non-zero, then you find the product. And inside this, again, we'll have to make a condition. Count 0 is equal to greater than 1. Then what we do is we put the value of this answer. Okay, so this is what we can do in this case. So again, still the time complexity will remain same, but we have solved it for all the boundary cases. Okay, this is fine. Now the third level of complexity the interviewer can ask you that, okay, now once you have solved this, and he says that, okay, now fine, you have solved it with the linear time complexity and you have covered all the boundary cases. The another problem that he can give you is that avoid, you cannot use the division operator, right? For example, the line number here I have divided this I cannot do it, right? So now how do I do it? So this is where we can use recursion. We can use recursion to solve it. Anybody who has tried this recursive approach? So we'll see a recursive solution here. So again, I'm just quickly defining, in the case of any recursion, when you have to solve any problem with a recursion, few things that you have to always keep in mind is that a recursion will have three parts: a starting point, which will give you, where you have to write the termination condition, and then you have to write the logic and the recursive code that can interchange. This is one thing. The second thing is that whenever you write a logic before a recursive code, it tries to apply the logic in the same order. And the third thing is that the most important thing about the recursion is that you should be very clear about the definition. So here also we'll try to first define a function. This function, what it does is that what it means that suppose I have an array, okay, and my current index right now in this is index, okay. So if I pass the array, the product left is product of all the elements from the 0 index till index minus 1. So all the elements to the product of all the elements to the left of index position, that is the product left. And if I also pass the current index, this will return me product of all the elements from the index till the end of the array. Clear, everyone, the meaning of this function? Okay, so this is the function that we have defined. What should the termination condition here?
The product or index equal to data dot length minus 1, array dot length minus 1.
You're almost right, but little one step before. So basically, we have an index, and index determines where currently we are in the array, right? We should keep on doing this till we reach the last element of the array, and only when we go beyond the last element of the array, I say that I should exit now. I should exit now. So what I can do is that if index is greater than equal to array dot length, in that case, so what it means that if I've already went beyond the last element of the array, in that case you do nothing but just return one.
That case, you have to return prod left, right?
The prod left also makes sense, but suppose the value is like this. Array suppose 1, 2, and 3, and in this the index that I have passed you is around 5. Now 5 is something which is a bad index, right? So if I is something is a bad index, in that case you even don't know what is the value of the product till here. So in this case, the better, the more the safer option would be the return 1 itself. Once I have written a base condition, let's try to find the current value. Okay, so current value will be int. I know my current index is index, so the current value will be array index. Okay, and let's try to find int product till current. So the product till current index means the product till the left, and if I multiply with the current value, I'll get the product till the current index, right? Because this value is the product of all the elements to the left of the current index, and if I multiply that product left with the value which is there in the current index, I'll get the product till the current index. So this value will be equals to current value into prod left, right? Now, so for a given current, right, current index, I know what is the value of the product left. I know what is the value of the product till the current position. I'm now interested in the value of the products which is on the right hand side of the index. So far so good. This line is clear, guys?
Yeah.
Because I have the product till the left of the current index already provided as a part of the argument, right? And if I multiply with the current value, I get the product till the current value, right? Till the current index, correct? Now I want to know the product of elements right of the current index, and for this I'll use this method. So this method, what it says that if in this method I pass the array and I pass what is the value of the elements to the left of it. Now since I want to know, after this index, so that position will be index plus 1 till the last element. I want to know the product of all that. So in order to know the product of all that, I can call this function, but in that instead of product left, I have to pass this value product till current index, and I give that index plus 1. So this function call will now return me the product of all the elements from the position index plus 1 till the last. So basically this is the product of all the elements to the right of the current index, right?
Yes.
So with this condition, I have for the given index, for the current given index, I know what is the value of the product left, like what was the value of the product of all the elements which is left to it. I know what is the value of product of all the elements which is right of it. So I can just, what I do, I can replace array I with product left to product of the elements right of the current index, right? But this function is returning the product of the current index till the end. So I have the value of the product of all the elements to the right of the current index. And if I multiply with this a current value, this is what this function should return. So this function should return current value into. So by the time when this, this whole recursive function will be done, this array elements will be correctly changed. So we are not using any other additional array to do it. In the same array, we are changing each of the position element with the corresponding value which is needed. I'll again try to repeat, and then you have any question, we'll talk about it. Okay. We have defined a function to which creates the product of all the elements of an array from a given index till the end. And the input for which we have taken is the given array, product of all the elements to the left of the given index and the index. And if you provide this, this will give you the product of all the elements from the index plus 1 till the end. This is the function definition. So we have first defined the base condition, in which if we have went beyond the length of the array, I'm just returning 1, I'm not doing anything. Then the next step that I have done is that I found the value of the current index, that is the current value. Then since I already know what is the product of all the elements to the left of it, if I multiply with the current value, I get the value product of all the elements till the current value, which is the product till the current index here, right? And then I have used this function to call recursively to find product of all the elements to the right of the given index. So for that, I have passed the same array, but in this case, I have passed the product till the current index because I want to know the product of all the elements to the right of the current index, right? And that is why I have rightly increased the value of index by 1 so that it satisfies the method signature. Once I did this, I know what is the product value left of the given index. I know what is the product to the right of the given index. If I multiply these two, this is what should be kept in the array at the ith index. Now this function returns the product from the current index till the last index, so I have to return this value so that it satisfies the method signature. And so I'm returning the current value into the product of the elements right of the current index. And this whole function, when it will complete running it will just go and replace the array with the required value that it needs. Now tell me, any doubts in this question? Does this make sense? Yeah. The reason is so basically find product definition means that, if suppose I'll give an example and I'll explain you. So if suppose initially it is 1 2 3 4 5. So in this function, if suppose you have passed array as this, and suppose you have passed the product left as the, suppose these three elements, so you have to pass like 3 to the 6 1 7. So what is meaning that you have passed the index as 2 and you have passed the product of all the elements left to it. So basically it's 2 and 1, sorry. So the product of elements to the left of the second index element is 2 and 1. So the 2 and 1 is 2, and we have passed this. So if you do this, okay, this will return the product of all the elements to the right of it. So it will return me 4 into 5. I can write it like this, so it makes more sense. So this is the method definition and this is the output. So if you pass the method an array, the product of all the elements to the left of the given index is 2. So the left of the given index will be 0 and 1. So 0th element is 1 and 1th element is 2. So it will return the product of all the elements to the right of it, 4 and 5. So why I did it here is that for a given position, so suppose I equals to 2 is the position which I have passed it, here I am interested, right? So the array array 2 should be equal to product of all the from 0 to 1 into product of all elements from n, right? This is my condition, right? The element at the given position should be replaced by product of all the elements to the left of it. So if the position is 2, so it has to be replaced by product of all the elements from the 0 to 1 into product of all the elements from 3 till the last element of the array, right? This is what we have to do. So, and I know what is my method definition. So inside this, if I have to find that what is the product of all the elements to the right of the current index, I have to call this function recursively with the appropriate arguments, right? And what is the argument that I have to give? I have to give, if I am looking for the product to the right of it, I have to give the product till the current position. So this is why I have provided the product till the current index, and to the right of it, so I have to provide the right index, so that now this function will return me the product of all the elements from the index plus 1 till the last. So with this, now I get this value. I already had the value of the product left, so I can just replace the array I with the product left into the product of elements right of the current index. Does this make sense? Is it clear now, Ashutosh?
Yeah.
Let's try to write on this. Suppose take like a simple input, right?
Yes.
And I initially call this function like this, find product. I call it like this array, and the prod left, suppose I give it 1 and the index I give it at 0. So first of all, when it came inside this, So the index value is 0. So it will not go inside this if loop. The current value will be equals to how much? The current value will be equals to 1. Product till the current index will be current value in the product left, so it will become 1. And when I call this time, again this call gets called, and at time the value of the array is passed as the same array is passed. Product till the current index is passed 1, and the index plus 1 becomes equal to 1. Right. So again, the second time when it comes, again this is not, this will not come, and here it comes, and here again the value of the current value.
That's 2, right?
Yeah, 1 second. So here it comes as 2, right? And then the value till the current index becomes equal to 2, right? And in this case, again it goes here, and the second argument that passes array, and the second one is the product till the current index, so it comes as a, and then again it comes here, the current value comes out as 3, and this value comes out as 3 into previous value is passed to, so it becomes equal to 6, right? And here the value that again gets passed will be array, and then its value should be 6, because the product is 6, and then the value that it gets here will be it should be 3, and then it again goes here, and it came here, and then it returns 1. So here the value of the product left will be 6, and the index is 3. So in this case, if it returns 1, it goes back. So when it comes back, the value at the end of product left was 2, and the value of the element returned on the right of the current index, it was returned 1. So 2 into 1. So the array I, that array at the this position was set up as, so this got converted into 1, 2, and this got converted into the 2 here. Okay, and then again what it did is it returned the current value into the product of the elements, right? So the current value was 3 into 1, so it returned 3. So again, the previous step when it came, this value would have come as 3, right? This value would have come as 3. So the value comes out as current left value is 1, so 1 into 3. So this value get replaced with 3, right? And what you return is that current value. The current value is 2. The current value is 2, and the product of the element right of it is 3. So it will return 2 into 3. And when you again go here, the product to the left is 1, so this will place 2 into 3 here, so this value will now get replaced to the 6. Does this make sense? I know it's a little complex to understand at the first go, but if you just try to look it closely, it will not be that tough. If we know that how the recursion works, if we know what is the meaning of the function that we have defined, if you just calmly try to go through it, I don't think that should be an issue. Is it clear, or you want me to try run it again? Is the try run clear?
Yeah.